Soderbergh's Liberace, Behind the Candelabra NPR. Skip to main content. Toggle search. Stations. Donate. Shop. Sign in/register. Log out. News. Arts and life. Music. Listen. Arts life is greater than. Movies is greater than. Movie interviews. Soderbergh's Liberace, Behind the Candelabra. May 21st, 20,131,242 p.m. Listen to the story. Fresh air from YI. 44 minutes 36 seconds. Playlist. Download. Transcript. Enlarge image I. Michael Douglas and Matt Damon star as Liberace and his young lover, Scott Thorson, in Steven Soderbergh's new biopic Behind the Candelabra. Claudette Barrios/Bo. Michael Douglas and Matt Damon star as Liberace and his young lover, Scott Thorson, in Steven Soderbergh's new biopic Behind the Candelabra. Claudette Barrios/Bo. Director Steven Soderbergh had been looking for a way to frame a film about the extravagant entertainer Liberace for years, when a friend recommended the book Behind the Candelabra, My Life with Liberace. Enlarge image I. Liberace sits at a gold-leafed piano in the living room of his then New Hollywood mansion in November 1961. Keystone Features/Getty Images. Liberace sits at a gold-leafed piano in the living room of his then New Hollywood mansion in November 1961. Keystone Features/Getty Images. The book A Hero Memoir Hero is by Scott Thorson, who for 5 years was Liberace's lover, though that wasn't publicly disclosed at the time. Thorson was 40 years younger than Liberace and still in his teens when they met in 1977. Liberace was a huge star, famous for his showy piano playing, his flashy outfits, a hero bejeweled jackets, feathered capes, fur coats, a hero, and the candelabra that was almost always in his piano. When I read that book, it sort of solved all my problems, Soderbergh tells Fresh Air's Terry Gross. It gave me a specific time period to deal with. There was the arc of the relationship between the two of them to give me a structure. And that's when things really started to move. More on Liberace. Pop culture. Liberace Museum closes its glittery gates. Offer interviews. Retro cooking with the King of Bling. The resulting film, starring Michael Douglas as Liberace and Matt Damon as Thorson, premieres on Ebo on May 26th. It's being released in theaters abroad, and is competing for the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival this week. Soderbergh, the hero who broke big on the filmmaking scene in 1989, at age 26, with Sex, Lies, and Videotape, the hero went with Bo for Behind the Candelabra, because no major American studio would take a risk in the picture. There was a sense, says Soderbergh, that the movie wouldn't have any appeal outside of a gay audience, and that audience wouldn't be big enough to return the investment. And so we just couldn't get anybody to do it. But one of Soderbergh's producers, Jerry Weintraub, was working with Bo at the time and mentioned the project to executives there. It was exactly the kind of film the company wanted to be making, a hero, and the deal was done immediately. The relationship between Liberace and Thorson may be the engine of the film, but the same-sex nature of that relationship is not the point. It's a very intimate movie, says Soderbergh. It's a very emotionally intimate movie, and there are scenes between them that are almost uncomfortable in their intimacy. Left square bracket, but they right square bracket with me, if it was a man and a woman involved. I always felt that, if we did our jobs correctly, that halfway through the movie you'd forget that it was Michael and Matt and just feel as though you're watching a relationship. Soderbergh, who previously directed Douglas in Traffic and Damon in the Ocean's movies and The Informant, was interested in the theatricality of Liberace's persona and the precedent it set in show business. You could make an argument that Liberace really invented the idea of bling, he says. I mean, nobody was dressing themselves like this. When you look at the people that have followed him, a hero, whether it's Elvis or Elton John or Cher or Madonna or Lady Gaga, hero, you know, all these people